Hi, everyone. My name's Laura. I'm a 28-year-old elementary school teacher in Boston, and this is the story of how my seemingly perfect life spiraled into a nightmare, one that ultimately made me stronger than ever. You really got lucky with Steve, my sister Lisa had said at my wedding, her words full of warmth and optimism. If only we knew then what I know now. Steve Wilson had swept me off my feet, a successful accountant with a charming smile and all the makings of the perfect gentleman. Our first year of marriage was magical: beach dates, surprise dinners, and plenty of laughter. Then came Elizabeth. Dear, you're going to love having me around. I've got so much wisdom to share about pregnancy and raising babies properly, she announced one afternoon during my third trimester, suitcase in hand. I hadn't invited her. Steve hadn't asked. Mom knows best, babe. Don't be difficult about this, he said, his tone sharper than I'd ever heard it. That was the beginning. The sweet texts, the caring gestures, everything that had made me fall in love with Steve vanished. Instead, my life became a series of commands, rules, and Elizabeth's constant presence. Laura, you haven't called in weeks. Is everything okay? My mom's worried voice crackled through the phone during a rare call. Steve says I need to focus on the pregnancy, I replied hesitantly. His mom thinks too much outside stress isn't good for the baby. Since when do you let others make decisions for you? This isn't like you at all. My mom was right. It wasn't like me, but I couldn't see a way out. One evening, I caught Elizabeth going through my phone. Just tidying up your contacts, dear. Some of these friends seem like bad influences, especially that Maya. Always trying to stir trouble between you and Steve. Things only got worse. Steve started tracking my location, questioning my every move. Where exactly were you for those extra 15 minutes after school? Why did you spend $30 at Target without asking me first? At a routine checkup, Dr. Cole noticed something was off. Laura, is everything all right at home? You seem different. Everything's fine, I lied, forcing a smile and holding back tears. Dr. Cole wasn't convinced. Here's my personal number. Call me if you ever need to talk. Elizabeth intercepted the card before I could take it. We appreciate your concern, doctor, but Laura has all the support she needs with family. That night, I overheard them in the kitchen. She's becoming difficult, Steve. All these modern ideas about birth plans and epidurals. In my day, we did things properly. Don't worry, Mom. I'll make sure she follows your lead. She just needs a firmer hand. I touched my growing belly, feeling utterly trapped. The contractions started at midnight. Through waves of pain, I grabbed my hospital bag. No need to rush, Elizabeth said dismissively. First babies take forever. Let's wait it out at home. 2 hours of agony later, I begged, please, I need to go to the hospital. Stop being dramatic, she snapped. I've delivered hundreds of babies as a nurse. You're barely dilated. By the time we arrived, I was barely coherent. Dr. Cole rushed in, her voice sharp with concern. She's at 7 centimeters. Why wasn't she brought in sooner? Mom said it wasn't time yet, Steve replied nonchalantly. I want an epidural, I pleaded. Nonsense, Elizabeth said. Natural birth builds character. The pain became unbearable. Please, nurse, I begged. And then Elizabeth did the unthinkable. As I screamed for help, she shoved a towel into my mouth. Stop embarrassing us. Women have been giving birth naturally for thousands of years. I struggled, trying to push her away, but she was stronger. Steve just stood there, watching. What's going on here? Dr. Cole stormed in, yanking Elizabeth's hand away. Mrs. Wilson, step away from the patient immediately. She's hysterical. I was just trying to help, Elizabeth protested. Security escorted her out, but Steve smoothed it over, convincing them she'd meant no harm. Do you want to press charges? A nurse whispered. I couldn't speak. Steve's warning glare silenced me. 4 more hours of agony later, my daughter, Lily, was born. But instead of joy, I felt numb, traumatized. You caused such a dramatic scene, Steve scolded as I held Lily in my arms. Mom was only trying to help. You'll apologize to her later. Elizabeth returned with a saccharine smile. The pain must have made you hallucinate, dear. I would never do such a thing. Over the next few days, I overheard her whispering to relatives. Poor Steve, stuck with such an unstable wife. I'm worried about the baby's safety. He might need full custody. Dr. Cole tried to speak with me privately, but Steve never left my side. I've documented everything, she whispered during a checkup. When you're ready, the records are here. On the day we left the hospital, Elizabeth had already solidified her narrative: the unstable wife, the saintly mother-in-law, the doting husband. But as I clutched Lily closer, something inside me shifted. They might have won this battle, but I was already planning my next move. No one would silence me again. 3 months after Lily's birth, I barely recognized myself. The woman staring back at me in the mirror was a shadow of who I used to be. Elizabeth had taken over everything: my baby, my home, my life. No, you're holding her all wrong, she barked, snatching Lily from my arms for the third time that morning. Honestly, how do you expect to be a good mother when you can't even handle the basics? She's my daughter, I snapped, trying to stand my ground. Keep your voice down, she hissed, narrowing her eyes. You'll upset her with your unstable behavior. That evening, when Steve came home to find me crying, he sighed with irritation. Maybe Mom's right, you're not handling motherhood well. She won't even let me feed my own baby, I shouted, desperate for him to see the truth. Because you're doing it wrong. Everything was fine until you started with this postpartum nonsense. His words felt like a slap, but the worst part was the hollow look in his eyes. The man I once loved was gone, replaced by someone who only saw me as a problem to be managed. One afternoon, Maya surprised me with a visit. I was wearing long sleeves despite the summer heat, and she immediately noticed. Laura, what happened to your arm? She asked, her voice low but firm. Before I could deflect, she grabbed my sleeve, revealing finger-shaped bruises. I'm just clumsy, I mumbled, pulling away. That night, I hid my old phone in my robe pocket and started recording everything. You're lucky Steve listens to me, Elizabeth hissed while cornering me in the nursery. One word from me about your mental state, and he'll take that baby away so fast you won't even see it coming. Later, during a diaper change, I caught her muttering to herself. Just like that stupid patient who reported me years ago. Claimed I was too rough with her newborn. Ha, they all learned to keep quiet eventually. The next day, Lisa called. Something's wrong with your accounts, she said urgently. The inheritance from Grandma, it's gone. Transferred to a joint account with Steve. And Elizabeth's name is on it too. My hands shook as I replayed the recordings from Maya during a secret lunch meeting. Girl, this is serious. We need to get you out, she said, her voice steady and resolute. Steve will never let me take Lily, I whispered, my fear overwhelming. Then we'll make sure he has no choice. Lisa dug deeper into Elizabeth's past and found something chilling. 3 formal complaints of patient abuse during her nursing career, all mysteriously dropped. Dr. Cole, who had been quietly documenting everything since Lily's birth, had contacts at the nursing board. These records show a clear pattern of behavior, she explained during a routine prenatal vitamins check we used as cover. And I've got detailed documentation of the birth incident. But Laura, you need to be ready. They'll fight dirty. Maya introduced me to Sarah, a domestic abuse counselor. First, we document everything, Sarah explained. Then we plan every detail. Timing matters. Late one night, I overheard Steve and Elizabeth talking in the kitchen. She's getting suspicious about the money, Steve muttered. Don't worry, son, Elizabeth replied, her tone cold and calculating. Once we get her declared unfit, you'll have full custody. Lily needs a proper family, not some unstable mother. Lisa found me a lawyer who specialized in domestic abuse cases. We've got enough to bury them, she said confidently, but we move on our timeline, not theirs. Every night, I kissed Lily's forehead, whispering a promise. I'll get us out of this. Every day, I gathered more evidence, voice recordings, bank statements, photos of bruises, Elizabeth's nursing complaints. Maya helped me open a secret bank account, and Lisa prepared her guest room. Remember, Sarah warned during one of our support group meetings, abusers are strongest right before you leave. That's when they're most dangerous. I looked at my baby girl sleeping peacefully despite her grandmother's ever-hovering presence. Freedom came on a Tuesday. Elizabeth was at her weekly hair appointment and Steve was at work. The timing was perfect. Stick to the plan, Maya texted. I moved quickly, my hands trembling as I packed. Documents, recordings, Lily's favorite teddy bear, a few clothes, all essentials. Finally, I wrote a brief note. Calling the police won't help. Check your company's financial records instead. Lisa was waiting 2 blocks away, her car idling. As we drove off, my phone lit up with calls and voicemails. "You've ruined everything," Steve's voice snarled. "We'll destroy you," Elizabeth screamed. But it was too late. Everything had already been sent, to the nursing board, to the company's CFO, to the authorities. Within days, the dominoes fell. Headlines broke. Former nurse faces abuse allegations. More patients came forward, 3, then 5, then 12. Elizabeth's perfect reputation crumbled. Steve's smug confidence turned to panic when his company's CFO uncovered missing funds. Lisa's accounting connections ensured the anonymous tip landed exactly where it needed to. "Mr. Wilson, we've discovered significant discrepancies," the CFO informed him. Soon after, Steve's arrest made local news: securities fraud, embezzlement, domestic abuse charges. The once charming man I had loved now looked hollow and desperate in his mugshot. "You think you've won?" Elizabeth spat at me during the custody hearing, her voice trembling with venom. "No one will believe your lies." But they did. My evidence, recordings, Dr. Cole's documentation, the financial records, it was airtight. The judge granted me full custody of Lily with no visitation rights. "My client also requests a restraining order," my lawyer added, her voice resolute. Elizabeth's nursing license was permanently revoked, her reputation in tatters. Legal fees drained her savings, and her once lofty social standing evaporated. Even her church friends avoided her whispers, trailing behind her like a shadow. "Did you hear? Elizabeth Wilson had to sell her house." 5 years passed. My education consultancy thrived, helping struggling students find their way. Lily grew into a bright, confident kindergartner, her laughter a daily reminder of our hard-won freedom. "Mommy, can Maya and Aunt Lisa come to my birthday party?" Lily asked, her eyes sparkling. "They're already here, sweetie," I said, smiling. The party was in full swing when my phone buzzed. Steve's appeal was denied. "He's serving the full 10 years, my lawyer informed me. Later, Lisa showed me another update. Elizabeth's medical spa business just filed for bankruptcy. She's moving into Sunshine Acres Assisted Living. I glanced at the news but felt nothing. No anger, no satisfaction, just peace. That evening, as Lily blew out her birthday candles, her face glowed with joy. "What did you wish for, sweetie?" Maya asked, grinning. "I can't tell," Lily giggled, "but Mommy already made it come true. She made us free." Tears pricked my eyes as I hugged her, her warmth grounding me. Her laughter filled the house. A safe, happy home built on strength, love, and freedom. Later that night, my phone buzzed again. A message from Steve. "I'm sorry. I know it's too late, but I'm sorry." Delete. Another from Elizabeth. "Please, Laura. I've lost everything. Just let me see my granddaughter." Delete. Some might call what happened revenge, but I call it justice. They made their choices, and karma did the rest. As for me, I chose freedom, strength, love. What would you do if your abuser apologized years later, after losing everything? Would you forgive them to free your own heart? Or would you delete their messages, like I did?